Your Holiness, since your inauguration in 2013, you have repeatedly said that inequality and poverty are the greatest obstacles to the progress of humanity and indeed the greatest threat to what may be termed the Christian civilization. It cannot be that a small group of individuals control half the world's resources. It cannot be that human beings or entire populations only possess the right to pick up the crumbs. This is what you said on February 1st, 2017. When we first heard these statements, we believed that something historical was underway, that the head of the Roman Church was actually going to place the entire weight of this colossal institution behind an effort to halt the plunder of preying capitalism and the rapidly progressing transfer of assets from the lower and middle classes to the infinitesimally few. However, we have yet to see the action. So far, no action has been placed behind your words, and the process of asset transfer is still accelerating rather than slowing down. When you speak of individuals, the fact remains that maybe as much as 90% of all wealth is organized within legal bodies known as corporations and trusts. These again are controlled by a handful of individuals. You yourself are one of those individuals, Your Holiness. The assets controlled by the Catholic Church, the Vatican and the Holy See constitute the largest aggregation of wealth on earth. It is not confined to real estate, to churches and monasteries and the land on which they stand. It is not confined to the astronomical sums buried in gold and silver ornaments, studded with precious stones and the invaluable collections of books and artifacts. After the First World War, Pope Benedict XV initiated the commercial era of the Vatican. He decided that church investments should not be limited by political or religious considerations, but instead should be handled purely on the basis of financial viability and profitability, that is, the most crass and basic values of capitalism. Since then, extremely professional and resourceful financial experts have been handling the holdings of the Vatican with such a success that already in the 1980s, the Vatican held more than 15% of all listed stock in Italy. Today, through its many trustees, the Vatican may hold a similar proportion of American stock. In any event, there is no doubt that the Vatican holds the largest fortune in the world today, and therefore, Your Holiness, you virtually hold the world's fate in your hands. I therefore urge you, and in this urge I will find support from the vast majority of humanity, to put the enormous assets of the Vatican behind an effort to end the war on the poor by first selling all shares in companies and corporations that behave immorally, weapons manufacturers, manufacturers of genetically modified organisms, pharmaceutical corporations, corporations that buy land in the third world, corporations that buy up natural assets such as water, and corporations that manufacture or produce under inhuman conditions for their laborers. Having liberated those astronomical funds, I further urge you to invest them in relief work, free hospitals, and above all, free education. Build free schools and universities in countries where education is for the few. Build free housing for the homeless and cheap housing for the poor. Set an example to be followed by the just and remembered by all for generations to come. The human being does not live from the word alone.